I'm Robert Cool Black Horton, co-founder and director of Black Men United for Change, Justice, and Equity out of New Orleans, Louisiana. As it relates to the issue of how to bridge the gap between middle class folks and those who are at the bottom of the ranks in the hood and the ghetto, the poorest of the poor. I think one of the ways to do that is bring folks together to talk about what the ills are in our community from a black perspective. Because there's a lot of problems that we don't share, we just assume, and we make judgments without really analyzing historically and collectively what we've done and what we've done that was in our best interest and where we went wrong. I think at some point in the black community, when it comes to movement building, we have to go back and assess how far we've come and what lessons we've learned from that there. For instance, we got to go back and do some serious conversations about what integration did in our community and where that brought us to. And what did the Reaganomic years bring us with the attack on all of the civil rights gains? But also what did we lose in that whole process? And then look at where we are now and why we have such a disconnect, for instance, with our young people in the middle class community as well as poor communities. And why is it like that? I think we got some tough conversations we got to have without other folks in the room. It's time to air out the dirty laundry, so to speak, and look at the issues of internalized racial oppression as it relates to inferiority. How do we deal with things that have been imposed upon us, the socialization, this conditioning that we have about ourselves, the self-hate kind of thing that we have. And oftentimes we don't like talking about that, but it's a reality in the community. How is it that we could buy ice from a white man's store, but the man right across the street who's a brother or a sister that has the same ice, we won't spend a dime with him? And a lot of that has to do with a conditioning process that goes all the way back 400 some years ago. We got to have these real heart-to-heart conversations about that. Why is it then when I buy a home, I move up and out of the ghetto, don't come back, and then threaten my babies not to come back too? So those are heart-to-hearts that we got to have. Everything in the hood ain't tore down, run down, or just hopeless, but there is a sense of hopelessness, that we have to channel. And I think those who are most likely to be the first tier for that kind of thing are those who are your college students, pretty much. You're 18 to about 25. To me, they're like our front line of defense. They're our movers and shakers. But until we get a collective consciousness about what we're moving and shaking for, then we won't be able to make the kind of changes that's needed in our community. It was the college students a long time ago that took the lead, that stepped up and pushed for the change, who had the best interests of our elders and our babies at heart. And they pretty much came from the middle class community, but they understood also that this message had to be brought down to the people on the streets and at a level that they could get it. And the two will work together to make those kind of changes, because I believe the folks on the streets have the analysis already. They know what the problems are. But access and the skills to actually make the change that's necessary, they don't really have. And most importantly, they don't have confidence in nobody no more. A lot of folks came and talked a lot of jazz and walked away with big pocketbooks at the end of the day, and people can see through that now. We need leadership folks can believe in again.
Thank
Are you that person?
you.